Okay, I think we might be live.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me try again.
Hello?
Hi, I'm here. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how to get there because it's just still telling me I'm private. I mean, oh. Bueller.
Oh, we've got people. Hey, everybody. Sorry for the delay. We've had some technical difficulties, but I think we're live and going here, streaming. It says we are. On the live chat, send us something that says you can hear us. Make sure that we're doing good here. Oh, we just lost both people that tuned in.
Oh, no. Hi. Are we still live?
We're live now,
Cool.
but we have 0 viewers. We had 2 and they dropped off.
All right. Well, hopefully you come back. What are we talking about?
I can see you.
You can?
Can you see us? Hello.
You're
How you
on
doing,
fire?
Katie? Wait a
Good.
minute.
I guess you can hang up on me.
Nah, join us.
Can you hear us talk? Fine. I mean, other than the cell phone?
Oh, I don't know. That's a really good question because I'm doing it on the same.
Well, maybe we
Yeah,
hang
let's-
up with her.
We'll hang up and then make sure that you can hear us on YouTube.
Call back.
Thanks, caller.
All right. All right. We have a viewer. We have 1. All right.
We got 2 now.
We have 2. All right. Who is okay. All right.
Sounds like we can hear through the system. Hopefully it's making its way over to YouTube.
All right. Well, welcome, Slancha, to everybody.
You don't have anything in it.
I know. I will shortly. But yeah. Welcome to
Fireside Chat with
Fireside Chat with Bradley and Egan. I'm under peer pressure here. There you
Cheers.
go.
Slancha.
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 Yeah. So what are we talking about?
So,
Boats.
yeah, boats.
Boats.
You know, you've been in Annapolis. You're basically from Annapolis.
A long
You know
time.
the bay. You know
Yeah.
the bay. And
Can you see
so-
the fire? Yeah.
fire's going. Fireside Chat with Egan. Gotta have a fire. And it's a small one, but it's getting bigger.
Yeah.
Putting off some heat. As people around the bay, boaters around the bay, prepare to launch their boats and think about places they want to go, things they want to do this summer, get away, because people have been cooped up for so long due to everything that's been happening in the world,
Except for us.
except for us.
Yeah, we've been moving boats up and down and
We've moved
around.
a lot of distance, yes. And
And all the time that people thought you're going into infection areas,
yeah,
we never got sick.
dude, don't talk about that because we could still get sick. Don't
What?
jinx it.
I'm not jinxing it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're immune. It's whiskey is one of them.
It is. It's something's working.
Yeah.
Something's working. Yeah, I mean, we've been basically from Maine to Palm Beach
Exactly.
over this pandemic. So a lot of different spots, but we've been smart about it, right? We've
Always wear protection.
Always wearing protection.
Yeah, I just heard about this guy. He was wearing a condom.
Mhm.
Next thing he walked out and he got hit by a bus.
That's not being very safe. It's trying to be safe.
He was trying to be safe.
Yeah. So I thought we would talk today about places to go on the bay, but more than that, things that you've experienced over the past year that might help as people are preparing to take their boats out, things that they may run into that they didn't plan for. But more than that, maybe talk about our Annapolis Irish Rowing Club.
Sure.
And our
It's a great
our
club.
status as of this moment, because the public's dying to know, what are we doing? And
Well,
then
so far we're in the lead.
we are in the lead. And then secondly, what is our plan? And there's an semblance of that, and we've got a floating dock now that might be a part of it. I don't know. We're adding to our infrastructure. We need a race boat. We got to raise some money for a race boat, and then we tell some jokes by the fire.
Sure.
Cool. And then people can also, write in. This is a live chat, so please send us whatever you want to hear, whatever you want to say. One thing you should say.
Ask us questions.
One thing you should say is happy birthday to Egan.
Why?
Because it's almost your birthday.
Yeah.
6 days.
True. Actually, right now I'm an Irish twin. You know what that is?
No.
That's where you and a sibling, with Deirdre, my sister Dee, we're the same age for a week.
Oh.
Yeah. Her birthday is today.
Oh.
So she's less than 1 year younger than I.
Oh.
So we're the same age for 1 week.
Happy birthday, Deirdre.
Yeah. Now, can Katie hear us?
Yeah, she just typed in, hi. She just said, happy birthday. Let's build a boat. It's a good idea. Why not? I mean, you've done that.
Yeah. That's true. Speaking of building a boat, we got 2 new skins for Tirnog and Nog. And so I've already started to strip the skin off of Nog.
Yep. So
there is some woodwork that needs to be done on that before that's going to be race worthy. And Tirnog is, we're running that every Saturday with the bathtub.
The 2-seater?
The 2-seater. Yeah, so those 2 are going out every Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
You're more than welcome to come out and out. We got some new young guys that are getting better and better every time they go out. If we do have a good race this year, we'll have a decent men's team. So we need to, besides Veronica, we need to build up the women's side too.
Yep.
So
we need everybody back that's missed out all this, this COVID season, which wasn't a season, but we had the 2-seater out for a while on the West River, trying to be smart about it, but still keep the muscle memory going. And would you say when does this season officially start, and how should we advise the team?
Well, normally we always started around St. Paddy's Day.
St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah. So that's pretty much daylight savings time is all around there. And so, the clocks will all be turned back. We'll be able to get back out on the water during the week instead of just on Saturdays.
Yep.
So that's what we're hoping happens.
Great. Is the Annapolis parade happening? The Irish parade?
There's no word of that. No. So we may have to do our own parade.
Yeah.
A rowing parade right into Eagle Alley. All are welcome.
Yep. We've got 3 boats. We can just take them out.
We can't
two
use Nog.
4-seaters.
Can't use Nog.
Oh.
I just told you I started pulling the skin off of that.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So when you have 1 4-seater,
unless we put the skin on it, then we can take it out.
I gotta repair the wood. That was that was the last episode that we taped. You didn't hear that?
I didn't.
But anyway, so that's where we're at on trying to get ready for the season.
And apparently
If there is a season.
Well, apparently there is a season because we do have a NACA kickoff meeting scheduled, correct?
Well, that's the date is to be determined at the moment. Yeah, but we should have among our own team a meeting like we did last year, like around at and I already talked to Michael at Pirates
Galway.
Cove.
Yeah, Pirates Cove and
So
Galway.
we could have it at one or the other. We have to just work it out with which one.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping that comes up, within the next week or so, that we could get some viewers there and teammates there.
Mm-hmm.
Go from there.
So if people are going to come in and travel, we could meet there, but we could also maybe do another Zoom if people are not able to travel or unwilling to travel.
Yeah, I think it's going to be down to the state restrictions on, on assemblies.
Yeah.
It's because, you look at sports, we technically, we could do it because just like all the teams that are quarantining amongst themselves and are still participating in sports. So, if we as a group are clean, we should be able to compete against another team that's, clean
Mm-hmm.
until everybody's vaccinated. All the educators and the health people are vaccinated or soon to be.
Yeah.
And so until the rest of us happens, unless you got immunities like Brad and I, which a little bit of Jeremiah weed, keeps the COVID away. I don't. We have no reasoning for why, because we've been
Makes no sense.
we've been moving boats all last year, all during the height of all this, and the owners were requesting us to get tested, and we get tested, we come up negative, so the owners are cool about it. These people buying these big boats, and we're going into these infected areas, and apparently we're doing the right thing as far as keeping clean.
Yeah.
So either we're immune or it's the whiskey that we bring along for the ride. I don't know. It's keeping it at bay. I don't know, but it'd be worth a good study.
It would be worth a good study.
Yes.
I think the first boat we took in March, it was either March of last year or early April, because it was still cold. We were going north maybe, or no, we were coming south. We were in Cape May, and no restaurants were open.
Right.
And luckily we had taken a propane grill with us. And
Well, Tony's was open.
Tony's was open then.
Yeah,
we had pasta.
We had pasta.
But we made breakfast.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
And your cousin came over and brought us coffee.
Yep.
Yeah. So we didn't eat inside anywhere. Couldn't have.
No.
I think everything was closed.
Yep.
But even when things started opening back up, we didn't really go inside too much. The only place we went was Partners in Glen Cove inside.
Yeah, everywhere we've gone, we've been safe. The people have been safe. Everybody's wearing whatever they got to wear.
Washing your hands.
Yeah.
Stop licking doorknobs.
Doorknobs. That was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Stop licking those.
You stopped that early on.
I know, it was tough. It was tough to get out of the bad habit. But yeah. So as far as St. Patty's is concerned, we should do something that's fun. We should decorate the boats and row into town and row around Annapolis with boats. And so hopefully we'll get some team members that want to join in for that.
Yep.
At least the libation part of it, if they don't want to do the rowing part.
Yeah. Socializing smartly.
Yeah.
Distance.
At a distance.
At a distance.
At a distance.
Yeah, good. Well, we can figure that out, and there's plenty of places, even if you wanted to sit outside, that has heaters going on the outside. We could always do the ice house.
True.
We've got a little heater in there, so if you need to go in there and get warm, you can.
Oh, it's gonna be nice on St. Patty's Day. It might be raining, but it's gonna be nice.
Yeah. It's usually a little cool in the morning, and then it gets sunny and nice in the afternoon, or it's a washout with a lot of rain.
True.
So could be a good plan.
We should work on it.
Yeah. All right.
And
We'll work on that.
well, I hope it works better than our YouTube initiation. Man.
Well, let's just hope that things get better as we
gonna
keep doing them.
Hey, you know how you get to Carnegie Hall? Brad, you know this answer.
Practice.
So we're gonna have to practice this one more time.
Yeah.
Or twice. Whatever we can do. If you guys like it, we will come up with some great stuff. Got to get down east, because look at all these beautiful boats. Oh, you can't see them, but I mean,
We can scoot this over.
yeah, Annapolis. Yeah, they still can't see it. The camera's not right there. But anyway,
Well, they can see that.
Yeah, they can see you.
They can see you.
Yeah, but they
It's on
can't
the screen.
You can't see the boat. Nevertheless, that's it's been a wild year with everything we've been doing, and we're trying to keep some kind of normality here, which is tough.
Yep. But we've been getting out a lot on Saturdays, even when it's pretty cold or windy.
Yeah.
So what in our kind of exploits over the past year, are there any trips that stuck out to you running a Sabre or a Back Cove or a Sea Ray or something like that was surprising to you and you might find it valuable to revisit?
The trips running the boats out from up north, or even bringing them up north. The one we took up to Connecticut was a fun trip. The 45.
Oh yeah, we'd never been up that river.
Yeah, it was
beautiful.
It's the same river. It's the Connecticut River, or part of the Connecticut River, and all the people that read that book, two guys in a boat.
Yeah. I think
it was something like that.
Yeah.
It was
about the Irish rowers?
No, they were just two old dudes in a boat that rowed down the Connecticut River.
Oh.
Yeah, so we went up the Connecticut River, and it is as picturesque as they described in that boat. We went in through that town. It was Essex.
Essex.
Yeah.
One thing, the coolest thing about that town for me was we were going through there, and they were having a little regatta, sailboat regatta, and they floated the committee boat. It was actually a barge.
Yeah.
It had a little shack on it, 2-level shack.
Talk to them.
Well, we're all talking.
Okay.
We had a 2-level shack, and they had bullhorn on it, and they were monitoring everything. And that was either one of the turns or on the finish on the way back.
Right.
Could have been a finish line, but that stuck out to me because it was pandemonium. There were so many boats in that span of the river, which was one of the wider parts of the river.
And I was at the helm, and I didn't hit one of them. I was aiming for them, though.
I think you tried once.
No, I just wanted to scare them.
Yeah. Hey, we've got some questions or comments. Hi, Martine. Where are the boats?
Where are what boats?
I assume the Curras.
Well, they're at St. Mary's.
Yeah. Where are we rowing from?
St. Mary's.
St. Mary's. So
yeah,
boats are in the same place.
Same place, same channel. Like I said, Nog is being worked on. So we got 2 operable boats, 2 and the 4. And we need to have an oar making party besides the other work that's going on Nog, our race boat. So that'll be coming up too. So maybe I don't know that people will join for that if they're not joining for the rowing.
Mm.
But
we need all the help we can get with making oars and.
Yeah, that's normally we've done it before. You can whip them out, in a day or so.
Well, we had talked about maybe doing that here on a Saturday or Sunday, and using the table saw.
Yeah, so that's up coming up also. So stay tuned. Well, hopefully we'll get everybody involved some way or another. All the boats always, if you want something to do, you could go down there with a paintbrush and a bucket of oil-based paint and thin it down and throw a coat on, sand it and throw a coat on the two-seater and Tiernog.
Yeah.
Anytime if you get some free time and it's a decent day and it's not a Saturday for right now, anytime during the week, it'd be most appreciated. It's only going to help the boats.
Yep.
Get another coat on them.
That way we can be ready when season starts, training starts, and we have an advantage because we can get in the water earlier than our.
Well, you would think, but everybody
competitive clubs.
Well, you would think, we always thought that, but some of these guys, their waters are clear also, and so they're out there.
Yeah, I'd say Boston's out there and Philly's out there.
Yeah, Albany's out there. And,
we know Milwaukee is. They're doing a really good job of getting out there, and they do a lot on social media. It's really cool to see them doing what they're doing. Yeah, they put like a GoPro in the boat, and you can watch everybody rowing. So, for those of you that don't know what Irish rowing is and what Annapolis Irish Rowing Club is, why don't you tell us how it started and what the boats are? And
you think there's anybody on there that's listening?
Yeah, we've got 9 people on there.
We do?
Yeah.
Have they say who they are? Are they rowers?
I don't know. Oh, Martine, I think we have a couple more questions, so hold that thought. Oh, good. Martine is in Saturdays at 10 a.m.
10:30.
10:30. And oar making. Let's do it. Yes. Like your attitude. Thank you. We will get these done. We've snapped a couple more oars.
Yeah. Our new guys have snapped some too, so we're getting thin on the oars.
Yeah. But for the audience that may not know what Annapolis Irish Rowing Club is, tell us about it.
What is it? It's a group of fun people. We're I don't know. What do we have? Drinkers that have a rowing problem?
Probably.
Yeah. And we compete with others around the United States, as well as there's competitions in Ireland and in Spain. So it's
Martine's been to Spain several times to compete.
Yeah.
In Arizona.
Yeah. So yeah, it's all
representing strong
around the United States. As far west as Arizona.
Yep.
As far north, I guess, would be Boston or Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're on the same latitude or not, but then there's a couple teams in New York. There's a New York City team, and there's a Albany team. There's 2 in Pennsylvania, the Philly team and the Pittsburgh team.
There's 3, right? Because Pittsburgh and then the offshoot.
Yeah. That's true.
What's the name of that club?
Matt Carroll's team, Leetsdale. Yeah, that's right. There's 3 in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
We're the lonely team in Maryland.
We need a couple teams in Maryland.
We would love that.
Yeah,
but it's I don't know. It's the English. Must be English and sailing. I don't know what it is. We're barely surviving here.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah. not if you look at our results in competition.
Oh, no, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But as I'm saying, as far as support.
Yeah.
It's just not there.
We need more support in Annapolis.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, it's an English town. I would say,
Well, but the Carroll House is probably the highest point in Annapolis, and that was Catholic, Irish Catholic.
Yep.
So,
and we're lucky that Charles Carroll is, in his spirit, has let us stay there since almost 20 years now.
yep. And that spirit kind of continues on with Father Vang.
Yep.
Father Vang has embraced us tremendously, and he comes out and watches us row, and he crabs right off of the seawall and blesses us, and it's really nice. He's a really nice guy. He's really embraced us, and it's been good to meet him.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Yeah, so we're good guys. We'll help anybody.
Mhm.
I think. As long as you're a good guy.
Yeah. Or girl. Or
well, guy is it's a universal thing anymore.
well,
Guy, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have to be this politically correct? Come on,
no,
man.
we're not. No religion. No
Yeah.
PC.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We don't have to be that way. We can be us.
No politics.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Even though we are on a sacred Catholic ground, St. Mary's ground. So.
Oh, we respect that.
Yeah, we
tremendously.
got to respect that.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, how did Annapolis Irish Rowing Club start?
It was just, let's see, how did it start? It was a thought. No, actually, it started probably in 82 or 83 with the St. Brendan's Cup, which is which started back then also was a sailing regatta that a bunch of guys, actually they were higher ups in the naval community, admirals and that and commanders and whatever, up in high ranked Navy guys that wanted to start a race called the St. Brendan's Cup to celebrate St. Brendan, who was the monk who had built a curragh, sailing rowing curragh, back in the 5th century out of used cowhide. And he was a monk, and he made his way to North America. It took him 7 years because he was converting on the way at all different islands and setting up, monasteries or whatever he was setting up. And anyway, to celebrate that, and so we wanted to tie in the Irish curragh thing. We found out about Boston had a curragh team from back in the 70s. And so basically they were just families that came over from Ireland that had curraghs, and they raced against each other. And so we invited them down to put on a demonstration, and they brought down 2 boats, and a bunch of old guys like my age now came down and put on a little show. And I was one of the young guys in the Ancient Order of Hibernians, and we got a couple of boys that were sons of the other Hibernians that jumped in the boat, and we said, "Oh shit, this is not going to be a problem. We're going to row against all these old guys, they're out there in Annapolis Harbor." We didn't know what the hell we were doing. They kicked our ass really bad, and so we decided then that we should start a team. And at the same time, right around the same time, there was interest from New York City, and I don't know how that happened, but it was a guy named Larry Otway, and so we put an order in to Monty O'Leary in Maharees, Ireland.
He's a famous boat builder.
He was one of the main boat builders in that area. There was 2 guys. It was Dutch, and Mahari and Monty. So anyway, we put the order in for 4 boats. We only could afford one. We only had small, the AOH only gave us a small amount of money.
Mhm.
So it was like $700. We got our boat. And because of the Navy influence that we had in the AOH, these are, Pentagon Navy guys.
Mhm.
And we had one of the guys who was a teacher over at the Naval Academy. He had a buddy who ran a ship out of Wexford, right? A container ship. And he was ex-Navy or current Navy. I don't know, but probably ex-Navy, but he was running a container ship. So he said that he would get the transport from Wexford to New York for nothing, right? We wouldn't charge us at all. So Monty had to build the boats, take them across Ireland to Wexford and across the other side,
Mm.
put them on the container ship, right, and ship them over. And so
There were 3,
4.
4.
New York had a lot of money. They had 3 of them. We got Tiernog.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got the one boat. That's all the money we've had. And so me and another guy drove up from Annapolis to Staten Island. All 4 of them were sitting there and a bunch of orders. We didn't know what the hell we were grabbing. So we just said, I think that one. And picked it up, put it on the truck, grabbed 8 oars and down the road. And we had it put it out on, somebody had some beachfront property over there off in Arnold area. And so we put it out there for a short while and rode out of there trying to figure it out. And we didn't really know what we were doing until, a month or 2 later. And then we contacted the Boston guys again and said, you guys feel like coming down, for a weekend and going out and showing us what we're doing, show us how to row. So basically that was it. They came down and we entertained them and partied them and all that stuff. And they showed us, we went out rowing and they showed us the stroke. And then from then on, it was just the 3 teams for a couple of years until Pittsburgh came along and that we were competing amongst each other.
Who started the Pittsburgh club?
It was the Mulkerrins were involved. Joe, Pete, and Mike, and then there was I think there was a woman who had an Irish shop there, Elaine something Flaherty maybe, or no, it wasn't Flaherty, but I can't remember her name. Anyway, she put up the money for the boat, and so they bought a boat. I'm not sure if they got an O'Leary boat or not, but I kind of think they did. And so they got a boat because everybody had tarred boats. We got the boats and they came over all tarred, right? That's how they did them over there.
So the bottom had tar on it.
No paint, just tar, right? And so, which we ended up having to change, a couple of years later because tar was just too hard to maintain.
Was it always canvas?
Canvas with tar on it.
So cotton canvas,
yeah. And then the other thing was that the seams, the boat, runs long ways, but the seams were cross because when we bought them, basically they took flour sacks, open and cut them in half, and you have like 6 foot of flour sack, and then you seamed them together, and so they had seams every 6 feet going down the length of the boat.
Did they sew those seams?
Yeah, they're self-sewed. That's true. And then they're nailed just like they are nailed, but then you just tarred the crap out of them. All right, and that kept them buoyant. So, we tried to keep up the tar thing for a couple of years, and it was just so messy because you come down in July and August when it's 90, 100 degrees out, you touch the boat, you get tar all over your hands. So it was always a mess.
Yeah.
So you had paint thinner there all the time. Get the shit off your hands. It was a mess.
Yeah.
So then we decided we're going with paint because paint gets hard it doesn't come off in your hands. A little bit, it's not as thick as tar, but so you just got to put more coats on there.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the asking about putting another coat on the boats that we're using right now.
Yep.
So it's a constant maintenance thing, but that's basically how it started. And like I said, Pittsburgh came in like around 85, maybe 86, somewhere in there. Philly was right in there around the same time.
So the
And
McCurran brothers that started Pittsburgh, did they live in Pittsburgh or did they relocate from somewhere else and then started a club?
Well, the Mulkerrans are kind of funny stories. Like, I'm not sure who came over first. Was it Mike Mulkerran, the big one, right? He's the tallest of all of them.
From Galway?
No, they were from Connemara area.
That's right, Connemara, yep.
And so he came over for a job. Then he had his brothers come over. But the three brothers, right, Mike, Joe, and Pete, all married three sisters. Like something you read,
Was it prearranged?
No, I don't know, but it was like, that's why all the cousins all look, so close.
They all look alike.
Yeah, it's very funny. You don't hear that story unless you're out west.
Yeah.
Right, somewhere where in a closed community where three brothers married three sisters, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, nevertheless,
were they triplets or just like different ages?
Different ages. Yeah. So, so that's the McCurran, and so like they came in on it, and then Albany was around, not too far around Philly too, and Boston was always involved because like they were one of the originals when we first started the whole NACA thing. It was Boston, us, and New York, and then everybody just added on. And then Milwaukee came in not too far past that also. A guy, Tig McInerney out there.
Did I meet him at the last Milwaukee Regatta?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, nice fella. And then we had, in the meanwhile, we had a team come out of Columbus, Ohio that lasted for a few years. And then their main guy got ill. And so nobody picked up the slack over there. And so that team kind of fizzled. We even had some guys off of that team that I think they relocated to, I don't know, Utah or something. And they drove all the way to our race, our inaugural race at Carroll House back in 2001. We did a race right there at the Carroll House.
Wow.
And in conjunction with the Irish Festival. And these guys showed up.
All the way from Utah.
It was way Iowa, maybe. It was Iowa. That's right, it was Iowa.
Wow.
So it's still just pretty far.
Yeah.
Right, to drive. And they pulled up like the scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High when the guys coming to the dance, and they pull up in the bus and the doors open and smoke and cans. That's how these guys pulled up, because we were all parked down where we normally put in. And they pulled in right there at the house in front of all these people, and there was Irish festivals, and he's falling out of their van. That was funny. It was funny as hell. Anyway,
they're here to row.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Did they bring a boat? No, they borrowed a boat.
I think they might have brought their boat.
You can't trust another club with their boat. They give you the heaviest one, the one that is a bathtub.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm. I don't like that one in Milwaukee. It's got tree trunks for oars.
Yeah. Well, that's their training boat. You got to work with negatives.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's it. And then here we are today. You You want to compete, but you can't. At least we couldn't last year, and we're hoping we can rectify that this year.
Yep. Talk about the new recruits that have been coming out and showing up that are real excited about it. And
you talk about it. You've been rolling with them too. Sam and Allie and Joe, Javier. Veronica just came out for the first time, in a month or two.
Yeah.
And she didn't miss a beat. And so, yeah, well, actually, we've been doing distance rowing, so it's good. Trying to get some distance in, and of course, rowing with the prize at the end of the row is oyster shooters.
That's good rowing fuel.
I know, but it's a prize. You're working for that.
You do work for it.
Yeah, you get it, and it's like, wow. And then you have enough energy to make it back home.
Yeah.
So, how many viewers do we have now?
We're down to 4, but we got a few more questions.
Oh, good.
And I think we may have answered some. I tried to be sly with seeing the
Good
questions,
Oh,
but
good slides.
now I'm calling myself out. Let's see. They wanted to paint the boat to look like an ear of corn. Martine says they wanted to paint the boat like an ear of corn. Yellow's fast. No. How many guys do we have? Introduce them to us, and that's kind of what we already did.
Well, you'll meet them on Saturday.
Yep. Sam, Ali, Javier, Joe.
Yeah.
And Vero, but Vero's not new.
This is not a guy.
Well, but you said guys were just everybody.
Yeah, true. That's rowers. That's right.
Right. So yeah, we've got a good field of that's 5 people, right? That have been coming out fairly consistently on a Saturday.
Well, 4 new ones.
4 new ones. Yep.
Yeah.
So we got that going for us.
Yeah.
And pretty soon we'll do 3 days a week, probably training.
It would be nice if we can do that. That'd be great.
So we'll do again Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Yep.
We're starting to get more sunlight in the evening, longer days. But
I'm saying,
starting off, we'll probably need to be close to 4:35.
Yeah. Once we get to the daylight savings time and it switches over, we gain an hour, and so it doesn't get instead of getting dark now at 6, it can be dark at 7 or 7:15.
Right.
So we can get an hour or 2 in. So that's the thing is, try to get there, 5:30 and get in the water no later than 5:45 instead of waiting, not getting into the water until after 6, and then everything's condensed. So just being a bit of more, what's the word for it? On time.
It's hard with Irish people.
Yeah, it sure is. That's why we tell everybody it's 5:15. Gives you a 20-minute window.
So, Annapolis Irish Rowing Club. There's also a very significant part of your life that is also downtown Annapolis, and that is your business. And
oh yeah,
you have perfected getting the right look and feel that the historic Annapolis, overarching and aggressive organization that it is, because they want to make sure that Annapolis maintains a certain look. Maybe they took a couple decades off. I don't know. I see some major differences across the city, but they're trying to be consistent about it now. And it's a challenge in making sure that you're meeting both the customer's needs and doing the right thing for the customer, and then making sure that historic Annapolis and the city as well are accommodated, and you're consistent with that. So that's melding a lot of different things together for an end result that is difficult to obtain. And you do an amazing job at that, and you have many repeat clients, and you've been able to help several of my clients that, there's some overlap there, and you've been able to go to their townhouses or homes in historic Annapolis downtown and do an amazing job because they've all been very, very pleased with it. Talk about that a little bit. Like, how do you manage that? And you don't want to give out any secrets, probably.
I wing it.
You wing it.
No. Oh, it's kind of tough to talk about yourself, or whatever you're doing is, just being around a few years, a few years longer than you, my boy.
Not that many. Not that many.
I know, but working with your hands, you figure shit out. One thing, as you do know, is that, the way they built it obviously was much better back in the earlier years. They used real wood. They didn't use composites and whatnot that we have. They used, the fasteners were all, proper steel. It wasn't monkey steel you get out of, the Asian countries that are, they're in all our stores. It's hard to find it, American or German steel, for your fasteners, for one. That's a big thing. And well, we're in a bad situation right now with the pandemic, has put the wood prices way out of price, way up there on everything. And so it's, hopefully everything will settle down on that.
Yeah, speaking about that, I have a client in Niantic, Connecticut, who is a builder. And he has a large client that he's doing condominium complexes for, and they have a set kind of building parameter that they want, and they're high rises, and the plan has been to do one every year. And so he's got a large staff, and he brings in a lot of, course, subcontractors.
Yeah.
And he said that the one that he's building now went forward during the pandemic, and raw materials have gone up by twice. It has doubled in price.
Yep.
And he said, normally that would be a great thing if all of a sudden, prices are going up, and that's good for his business, but he can't pass along directly all of that cost because the market will only bear what the market will only bear for a condominium. So everyone's margin is cut.
Yeah, I know. It's bad. And people are putting shit off, as far as major renovations, just because until the material costs become more reasonable. So it's not a happy subject that we want to talk about, really.
Well, but it's a problem and it's a challenge for your business, but you've still been able to navigate it. And
well, people want something they got, if they really want it, then you give it to them, and you just you're upfront with them. This is what the costs are. It's like, do you really want it? Okay, and then yes, we'll do it. But everybody's pretty much on board. They know it. When it comes to renovations, they're on board.
Okay.
Because there's plenty of these YouTube things where I could be screwing a board together and telling you how to do it, and you can do it at home.
There's a lot of instructional material on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube's great.
It's great. We're instructing people now on Annapolis Irish Rowing Club.
Sure.
It'd be nice to have some photos. So
where was that picture?
Figure that out.
That picture you sent. I thought you had a framed picture that you took. Where'd you take that picture?
A framed picture?
You sent me a picture. Never mind. All right, it's pet.
Well, there is some software that we can utilize that we might be able to present on the YouTube so that people can kind of see that. But that wasn't the goal for this discussion. The goal for this discussion is to talk about your experience in Annapolis with Irish Rowing Club, with your historic building projects and company,
that's nice.
Along with your marina operations, and advice on advising people on running down east style boats because you're a pro at it now.
I am. Well, that's good.
I don't think there's anything that you would confront that you wouldn't know how to deal with. And there's many times that we've run boats together that I've utilized and appreciated your approach to it, and that is a basic approach of, all right, let's troubleshoot this and let's find out what it is that is actually causing this problem, because it's going to be one or two things probably most of the time. It's one
most of the time they're minor.
They're minor.
Yeah.
And
aggravating, and they come up while you're running.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because most of the boats we've run or been excellent boats, who doesn't like, a Sabre, right?
Yeah.
They're awesome boats, and the backhoes are awesome boats. So you're dealing with this beautiful, piece of handwork, and you're running down, and you got a Cummins Volvo motor that's running great. And it's always it's like an any boat. It's like on a car, it's like there's always some little nickly thing, and it's a lot of times it's electronic, or it's just a small little mechanical thing that you just got to be on top of it. And like I said, logically sort it out. And normally it's not a big deal. At least we haven't run into any big deals.
No. And I think by stepping back and pulling out the owner's manual.
Oh, that's a big one.
It's a big one. And I've learned that from you.
Yeah.
Pull
out the owner
I rely on my experience.
Sure.
With the mechanical aspects of the boats, and I haven't run into everything. So,
yeah,
there's been times when I've let it get in the way of fixing the problem quickly. Whereas you will pull out the manual immediately if you don't know how to fix it immediately. Go get the manual and let's walk through it. And there's been several times where that's worked, like the Backhoe 30 that we were trying to deliver down to Irvington.
Right.
What was the deal with that? There was an engine issue. Do you recall exactly? But maybe the engine wouldn't start.
Overheating.
That's right.
Yeah.
The engine was overheating. We had just run the boat from Glen Cove, New York.
Yeah.
Thanks to Dave Tischer's help. And
hey, Dave. If you're
on here now, Dave, thank you. If not, you'll see it later.
If not, you're probably asleep.
Yeah.
It is past your bedtime.
It's late for Dave. You just run it for 2 days probably straight, no issues. And then when we want to deliver it from here to Virginia, we run into this overheating issue. And even Mitch got on board, our technician here. So getting out the manual and seeing, okay, what are we experiencing here, and what part of the manual do we need to focus on? And then it was just like one or two steps in that manual, and we discovered quickly, okay, this is what we need to do. And maybe it was a routing issue. I really don't recall exactly what we did, but I know that the manual was key. So I think your experience with cars, and engines, certainly, all the motorcycles you've had and the cars, I think they're growing in your yard, your cars.
Oh yeah.
I think you water them and
I do.
And they're a little bit like
I have a crop.
You have a crop. Yeah. But also your experience with home building and construction, I think helps a lot with running boats. There was a time we were running a 36 Sabre.
Oh, that was cool.
That was up the Erie Canal.
Yeah, you got to tell them that story.
You're better at the story.
Come on, tell them the story.
No, you tell the story.
Well, there's a nice guy from Cleveland or Cincinnati. Cleveland. Bought this old...
Port Clinton, but that's Cleveland area.
Yeah. Bought this old, what was it, 95, 98? 98. Really nice.
Aft cabin 36.
Okay. And Brad and I, he didn't know what he was doing. And so
we hit the fuel dock getting fuel.
Yeah. The guy was, I don't know, I think he was a sailor, and this was his first powerboat. And so
nice guy though. And
really nice guy, Tom. And so We took him, helped him bring his boat up into the Erie Canal, which was really cool going through all those locks. I'd only been through one lock before. That was down in Florida. But this one, the locks are like 30 feet or more tall. And you pull in there and all of a sudden the giant bathtub fills up. You go up to the top and you keep on moving. But yeah, he had a cool little boat that when I was bored. Well, actually, we weren't bored. We were going up the East Coast outside of Jersey in really rough weather, and the doors would not stay shut. And so, so I had to work on that while we're underway because we were getting wet inside the lower cabin while those guys are you and Tom were up top.
Well, were both of us up there?
Yeah,
I was running the boat from down below.
No, you were from up top.
I know, but starting out, we were from down below, and because it was like a northeasterly breeze going up the bay, it was splashing. The spray was coming in that wing door.
Yeah,
and it started to get rougher and rougher, and I couldn't see. And then I was getting soaked, and I was trying to keep the door closed.
Yeah.
And every time I'd go to like fix something so I could see, the door would swing wide open, or it was a pocket door, so it would slide back and get sprayed with salt spray. And I was like, Egan, can you fix this? I'm going upstairs, and ran the boat from up there. And I think you're right. Tom did follow me up there.
Yeah.
But but by the time we got to C&D Canal, that wing door was fixed. You had done a patch because it was rough, but you had done a patch so that when we needed to run back down.
I did a MacGyver on it.
You did a MacGyver. You did a lot of MacGyver.
Yeah, because we didn't have all the proper tools on board, so I had to use what tools we had.
Cardboard.
Yeah, whatever we needed to get to that point until I could take the locks apart.
Cardboard and chewing gum.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever we had. And so, but that was a fun trip. Just doing what you got to do to keep it going. But that's the one thing about boating is you have to be fluid. You have to, go with, what you're given. Same thing with the rowing.
Mm-hmm. How do you mean go with what you're given?
Well, you don't know what your team is, and so you have to do the best with what team you have, and to get the boat to go where you want it to go. And likewise, just like saying, well, on that 36, it's like go with what you're given as far as what tools you have to remedy the situation. Even if it's in a temporary patch state, until you get to a point where you can get, the proper tools or materials you need to fix what you got to fix. So,
figure it out.
Yeah. So it's like MacGyvering it.
Doesn't your son call you MacGyver?
I've MacGyvered quite a few things. So it's I don't know. Got to fill the air, man. You can't leave dead air on these.
Well, I didn't think you were. I didn't think you were finished. So, in that vein, as people are experiencing getting out on the bay with their new boat, because a lot of people have new boats, do you have any words of wisdom for them? Advice?
Words of wisdom for
new boaters on the bay?
Yeah, just use your boat. I mean, most people, they get the boat and they only use it once, maybe twice a month. How are you going to get any experience on that? Just like we talked about, how do you get better at anything is practice.
Yeah.
Right. And so, during these times, where we saw that, how many boats went through the DeMillo's organization during this COVID, it was because people wanted to get out, right? They were tired of being stuck in their house and they were fine with just being their small little community, whether it's their family, whatever, on their boat going somewhere. You couldn't really go. You couldn't eat out anywhere, but you could get dockside food.
Mm-hmm.
You could get fuel everywhere. But at least you were out. And so I think that's just the main thing is get out. So much of this, well, just here in the Bay is so much to explore. It's like the biggest estuary in the United States. So why wouldn't you explore it?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that far from home, no matter where you go. It's a day. You go to the south, you go down to the bottom of the bay to the top of the bay. You got those buddies, out of the Baltimore Yacht Club, that travel all the time.
Ed and Linda, yep.
Yeah, they travel all the time because
they're always going. Yep.
What I'm talking about is they're experiencing, they're getting out, and they're using their boat, they're having fun, they're getting away from their house. That's what I all want to do. Who likes being stuck in their house?
Yeah.
You only can rearrange the furniture so many times.
I've done it how many times?
Okay.
4 or 5.
Yeah. You can do that and paint something and grow so many flowers and yeah.
Ryan and Mitch here, they're very encouraging with our clients and just even our internal clients like myself and Brett, that there's nothing that we can't do to a boat that they can't fix.
Right.
So just get out and use it.
Well,
and
for sure.
If something happens, just be safe and it can always be fixed. And you'd be surprised at how inexpensive it is to fix some things. I think boats get a bad rap because of the price and sometimes labor and repairs can add up. But that's only if you let things go. And then all of a sudden you have a lot of things to, in my experience, most of the time, if you've ignored certain maintenance requirements or advisements, then usually it'll stack up.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people put that shit off, and the happy guys are the guys that are a little hands on.
Yeah.
They don't mind getting their hands dirty to change or check fluids or even change fluids.
Yep.
Those guys, they're involved with the mechanics of the thing, and they're aware. They're more aware of. They're looking around. They can see what deficiencies, what screws are coming loose. Can torque them down.
Yep.
Stuff like that. They're aware of what. Just like your the guys that are classic car collectors. They're constantly looking over that classic car to see what it needs before they take it out to show it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Same thing. They're just more aware.
Yep.
And so that's part of going out and using your boat. Just be aware of all the mechanics that are going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and stay up on it. Or if you don't know, then you question about it, and you schedule, like you said, your regular maintenance if you're not hands on. But you should be aware of what's going on.
Yep. And
so it's not a big surprise when you get that $15,000 bill, for something that you could have, foreseen, with only $1,000, ticket.
Yep.
So it's yeah. But I mean, the people that are affording these boats, these $250,000 to $1 million boats, now those people, they respect the fact that they can buy it from a company like you and DeMillo's and have the backup to handle it.
Yeah.
To handle the schedule stuff, but they have to be the ones to say, yes, I want this done, and can you do it, right? Instead of being egged, like, did you do this? It's like they have to be more aware.
Mm. Yeah,
of their own thing, just like
I would totally agree with you. Yeah,
if you're driving around a Ferrari, and you only use it once a month, right? And you take it out the third month, and you hear this weird noise. You take it to the Ferrari mechanic and say, "What's a weird noise?" He says, "Well, it's the fact that you haven't been using it." Why don't you try using it a little bit more? That noise will go away because it's.
Oh, that's a highly tuned race car.
That's a bad example, maybe, but the same thing. But
I think that example applies. Go ahead. I didn't interrupt.
But no. Just what I was saying before about the using the machine, because all the engines are, especially on the models that you sell, they're bulletproof motors, right? They're all long lasting motors that just require regular maintenance. That's what I'm beauty about. That's what I like about diesel engines. Very simple.
Yep.
Just maintain them, and they just keep on chugging along.
Yes, and I agree with you that I think a lot of our clients that have these down east style boats are knowledgeable about the systems.
Yeah.
And they're usually very involved with their own yachts. I mean, they have worked their entire lives to be able to put themselves in a position to enjoy life on the bay and explore the bay. And we are well situated for, that Maryland slogan of, living a good life.
Yeah.
I think
you were talking
the
about
land of pleasant living.
being around Annapolis for so long, all these years. You see so many boats that are in and around Annapolis that maybe you leave their dock once or twice a year. Other than times they just sit there.
Yeah. These boats go out, they voyage because they can take the seas that are thrown at it, unless you're just an idiot and go out in 15-foot seas, and that's nobody.
That 54 could take it.
Yeah, at 26 knots too.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
It was awesome. Tom's 52 is like that too.
Yeah.
But they can usually take what the seas throw out that we're on, whether it's on the coast or in the bay, and at 25 knots.
Yeah.
So you can go out on your boats and you can use them. I think it's important. And our client, usually our clients appreciate that, because there's only so much time in life, and you want to have a reliable method of exploring the bay and enriching your family's life and family experience. That's one thing I love about boats, is the family aspect and being able to pursue your dreams and exploring the bay. I think if you spent your whole life exploring the bay, you might get all of it. You might get to all of it, but I don't think unless you spent all of your time exploring the bay, you could see all of it.
Yeah.
And I have boated mostly around the world. I haven't boated in Australia and Hawaii. Apart from that, I've been there. Cape Horn. I haven't been to Cape Horn, South Africa. But it's an amazing. Not really. It's really not. I don't need to see it. We go from Maine to Miami.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah, and it's challenging and it's exciting. And I mean, I love Puget Sound as well and going up to Vancouver. But here is, especially on the bay, it's a protected environment. And you can boat all year if you can put up with the cold.
Yeah.
You can actually, like on the West Coast, you're going to boat 2 months a year. That's it. Because the seas are too rough. It's the Pacific Ocean.
Right.
And you could boat up in the San Juan Islands, but it gets really cold up there. Around here, it's better. And it's a brackish water, so 70% fresh. I think that's a big deal too.
Yeah.
It's a more pleasant environment.
I agree with you. It's just know how to dress here in Maryland. One day could
wear
be
layers.
Then day 70, next day could be 30. So yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, wear layers.
That's right.
So yeah. So what's next on the I did watch a video of DeMillo's, who we're talking about.
We're at DeMillo's
We're
on
at
Chesapeake
DeMillo's, yeah.
at the moment. We were going to have this talk at the ice house, but it's really cold and windy out there,
Yeah.
and it's nice and warm and toasty in here, and we have power.
And we got a fire.
And we got a fire.
Yeah. But
Although we set that up
I
out
did
there,
watch
too.
his video, and it must have been like 7 years ago, where DeMillo's did a lobster fest up there in Maine.
Yeah. Hillary and Chris put together
put
this
it on.
amazing.
Yeah, it was like 100 some boats showed up there.
So they do it every 5 years.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yep. So we did the last one in 2018.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's amazing. And basically, we all converge on DeMillo's on the water, which is in Long Wharf, which is right downtown. We've been there many times.
Yeah.
Right downtown Portland, Maine. And they own the waterfront right there with the largest restaurant in the area.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
beautiful marina. And we take over that marina. And it's in the slip holders' contracts that anyone in their slips during Lobster Palooza, they have to vacate their slips so that we can make room for sabers and back coves. And I remember this last Lobster Palooza, and the only one that I've been able to participate in thus far. Half of the north side of the marina was back of 37s.
Wow.
There were so many back of 37s.
That's a popular boat.
It's I got to tell you, when I first got here, I wasn't a fan of the 37. I thought it was an apartment on the water, and I didn't see a whole lot of compelling items about it. But I've fallen in love with the boat after running it. I ran in 2013, early on, that Kirk Bradford was buying, who's an amazing gentleman and loves his boat. And it brought me over to the 37 because you can open it up if you want, with the piano hinge doors.
Right.
But I think more than that, it's the way it performs. It's a very level boat, and it's predictable, and it's shallow draft, quick, and it's very easy to be on that boat with 6 people or 2 people or alone. I think that's a versatile aspect of that boat that I really appreciate.
Yeah.
My favorite back cove of all of them is the 37 Down East, because it's all open back, but that's just a personal preference. But they're basically, same hull.
Sure.
And
Oh, that was also cool. We went up last year to Baco's plant.
mhm.
That was like a real education right there, that how injection molding was done on the holes, and the carpentry shop making all the cabinetry, how the engine department, everything's all on a conveyors type system, where you see these holes, like they had. Well, I don't know what words. The 41s is, it's so big when you see it like behind it. When it's not in the water, it looks like that's a big boat. But when you're on ground and you see this gigantic hole that's empty, and then they haven't put all the guts in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so amazing that they took you through every step of the process. Because my buddy John bought a 41.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
41 number 93.
Yeah, beautiful boat, and so we got to see every step of the process, from the molding of the hull to the joining of the tops and the bottom, the guts going in, the electronics, everything, cabinetry, the whole works. It was,
And then assembly in the water. The last part of assembly and
yeah.
delivery,
Yeah,
commissioning
exactly.
in the water.
Yeah,
Up in Maine,
yeah.
yeah.
All of that. It's amazing how they do it, and come out with such a great product.
Yeah.
But and just being able to run some of these really nice boats has been a joy. As far as learning. How many people we got?
We still got 2.
All right. Have they commented? Can they comment?
Let's see. I think we just got a few more comments. Oh no, that was Martine. But I think it's time for more whiskey.
It's a good thing I brought old Jerry down.
Should we have some whiskey pouring music?
Okay. So the people that are watching.
How about the new Chelsea Wolf and Emma Ruth Rundle single, Anthedonia?
Sounds good to me. So can we see who's watching or not? It just says 2.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. All right. Well,
But we're having a little interlude with some weed. What questions do you guys have? Throw them at us.
yeah.
Launch it.
Sponsor.
You lose everybody else. So
They brought the joke book.
good.
Good. All right. You want to hear a joke?
Dude, the music's playing right now. Do we just cut it off? Or do we just let it keep going? You need to take a pee break or
No.
interlude or anything?
Are we? You can say that on the air.
I don't know if you can say other things. Need to smoke a cigarette for the break? What? Because you're going to read a book? You're going to take the next minute?
No, I'm not going to read a book. Well, you can read. I'll just put out earmark a couple of jokes in there that you're not going to read on the air. They're clean.
They don't have to be clean.
Well, like you can
The
read
good
this
ones
one.
aren't clean.
Oh, I know, but you can read this one. This one, like clean one, in case we have some people that want some jokes.
Okay, you want to read jokes?
A sweater. No, leave it. You just turn it down the volume.
Okay.
Did you know a sweater is something a boy wears when his mother is cold?
Oh.
All right.
Put on your jacket,
Yeah, right.
your sweater. So just all of them or what?
I was just reading the short ones because the other ones are just too long. So.
If you have any advice to pass on to your children, do it while they're still young enough to think you know what you're talking about.
Words of wisdom there. All right. Well, since you said I will take a smoke break while you're reading them jokes.
Yes.
You got to keep them entertained.
I don't know if I want to compete over the music. I'll just.
Oh, it's good background.
Yeah. A Texan goes into a bar in the outback of Australia and says, this country might be big, but back home, I've got a horse that makes a whole week to ride around my ranch. The bartender replies, I know what you mean, mate. I had a horse like that once. I had to shoot the lazy bastard.
That's right.
I guess the bartender was Irish. Old is when your sweetie says, let's go upstairs and make love. And you answer, pick one, I can't do both. Old is when your friends compliment you on your new alligator shoes and you're barefoot. Old is when a sexy babe gets your attention and your pacemaker opens the garage door. That's old. Old is when going braless pulls all the wrinkles out of your face. Old is when you don't care when your spouse goes, just as long as you don't have to go along. Old is when you're cautioned to slow down by the doctor instead of by the police. Old is when getting a little action means you don't need to take any fiber today. Old is when getting lucky means you find your car in the parking lot. Old is when an all-nighter means you're not getting up to use the bathroom. And old is when You're not sure these are jokes. Okay. All right, I'm going to take a quick break and we'll listen.
Yeah, what topic are we going to discuss now?
Talking about books, I'm always interested in what you're reading. What are you reading right now?
The same kind of books I normally
Clive
read.
Cussler stuff.
Yeah, adventure, romance, excitement. Has to do with nautical. Because he's all his books revolve around
something boat related.
Something boat related for sure. Yeah. Where there's a terrorist, that wants to destroy the earth or take over. But yeah. And got into, I was telling you, I started reading Obama's book.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that a little bit more.
I haven't really got into it more than a couple chapters, but, just pretty much, how he, started off. I was telling you about that the other night that he was, Michelle Obama said that he walked too slow. And he said that he walked like a Hawaiian, which is long and slow, meandering, taking his time to get wherever he's going.
And what do you think he was that's just the way that they walk out there, or is it a state of mind, or is it a more
I think it's state
focused?
Of mind. It's like you walk and you enjoy what you're seeing. You're not what's the hurry all the time?
Yeah.
And this whole world is in a hurry. Hurry to do what?
Missing stuff if you go too fast.
Yeah, constantly looking down at your cell phone. You're missing everything that's going around you. Yep. With walking down halls and people are looking down. I was in New York. They have actual lanes on some of the sidewalks for people that are looking at their phones. And you have to, if you're not looking at your phone, you're on the outside of that lane. It's a painted lane that they
on the sidewalk.
On the sidewalk. Where was I? Brooklyn? I'm not sure. I think it was in Brooklyn when I encountered that. Just people walking, looking down at their hands. You're missing.
Or sightseers that are looking up at the skyscrapers.
Well, then you get the other thing is
they're on their way fast. The people that live there.
Well, maybe, but it's the phone thing has gotten out of hands. It's that people just missing the world.
Yep.
Just when the Pokemon thing was a big thing.
Oh yeah. I think that's people still do that.
I don't know. Maybe they do, but we were down there. We had rode into town and standing there waiting on the corner right there in front of Middleton's. People walking around, looking at their hands, looking for the Pokemon, getting to that point. Walking crossing the streets, not looking up.
Yeah.
So I'm just not a fan. That's why I still have a flip phone.
Yep. Well, they're more durable.
Well, it's just, if someone wants to talk to you, they'll call you. Yep. Or they'll text you, one or the other.
Yep.
Then hopefully you get the answer that they want. But I'm looking forward to things getting back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
And more adventures up and down the seas.
Me too. Oh, you got to show your joke book though.
What? Oh yeah. Okay, I don't know if you can see that.
We've taken that on many boat trips.
Yes, it does break up the monotony because when you're running for hours on end, people think, oh, it's so great. You're running all these big boats and it's, what a fun. The fun lasts about, I don't know, 2 hours maybe. And then all of a sudden you're like, it's work.
Yeah.
It's a job, you're doing, taking somebody's prized possession down the road or down the bay or down the ocean, wherever you're going.
Yeah.
So it's you have to break it up, otherwise,
because it's constant focus. Even when you're offshore.
Oh yeah.
It's a constant focus thing.
That's what I'm talking about. Is just like you're working because you're constantly scanning the horizon. That's why it's advisable to always have somebody with you to carry on. If somebody's paying attention, somebody else is doing something else.
Yeah. Or
you're just taking a break to rest your eyes because you're next up on duty.
Yeah.
So it's not all fun and games, but it's do it because we like it. It's exciting, and you get to even though some of these trips were repeat, going to the same marinas and
mm-hmm.
filling up, but you're on a different boat, and the challenges come in, because
the seas are always changing.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That's where the challenges come in. So you have to adapt to that. So it's that's what makes it interesting. You're just not running down the same road that's perfectly smooth every time, right? So you have to go with the flow, and then everybody around you is that you encounter pleasant. Most boaters are very friendly and helpful.
Yep.
And that's the nice thing about the community. It's like a brotherhood that you're all in.
Yeah.
Or a club. Everybody wants to help each other. So that's what's
I think
nice.
That's the case. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's nice about it. Like I was talking about earlier about the Miller's group is all very nice, knowledgeable people. And they want to see this perpetuate itself. As far as the boating community,
mm-hmm.
and by putting out a good product or selling a good product, that only helps. So it's been enjoyable.
Yep. You get to meet a lot of different people and experience a lot of different environments and marinas, and by and large, they are helpful and kind of all in this together. And that's what, it's a very,
I was going to show them the other thing. This my when we were talking about marinas and whatnot. Put on my
Captain Hat.
I matey.
Dude, I love that on
you. What do you think? You like it? Do I look like a captain now?
Rod just texted.
What did he say?
Hey, Rod Rodriguez.
All right, how you doing, Rod?
Contigo. Rod, we're having a nice chat by the fire with some weed, talking books, talking boats.
Yeah.
Talking curras.
All boat related. That's what we're talking about.
Well, talking about
boys and boats
and coffee. you got to figure out coffee on the boats, and that's an important part of experiencing and enjoying a boat because two reasons. The first is it's a daily routine. And if you want to be able to enjoy your boat and experiencing the boat and venturing, you want to have your daily routine.
You want to be awake for it.
You got to be awake for it. You got to be awake for it. So how do you do that without impacting the earth negatively through pods going into the landfill? How do you, because boaters, in my opinion, are environmentalists. We are very environmentally conscious, much like hunters are. And it's too easy to put a pod into a coffee machine and hit the start button and pitch that pod. So boaters understand the environmental impact of our footprint. And one thing that I love about Open Seas Coffee and what they provide is a coffee for a lot of different brewing methods that are hand poured, whether it be French press or pour over, or you have a machine that, you know, that does actual coffee grounds as opposed to a processed piece of trash. So I'm getting a little bit on the soapbox about that, but I'm sick of seeing pods in a trash can that's just making the earth covered in plastic more than it already is. So with coffee, you can enjoy coffee on board by having an Open Seas coffee that allows you to brew a cup right there on board, whether it's coffee, drip coffee or espresso.
For every boat that you sell, you got to give them a couple pounds of Open Seas coffee.
I love it. I love that idea.
Yeah, and then just give them a little tutorial, give them French press if that's, you know, the simplest thing you do. That's part of the deal. You get 2 pounds of coffee press, go out and enjoy your boat.
Exactly. Go venture out and enjoy a beautiful cup of coffee on the bay in the morning.
Right. So is it time for coffee?
Rod says, here to the pods. Yeah, Rod, we thought it was at 8:30 as well. We had some technical difficulties, but I wish I could show you all of the electrical appliances that we have to make this quality production. And we couldn't even go live. I don't know. We got it working though. We got it working. First time's the worst. And how do you get to Carnegie Hall, Egan?
Practice.
Practice.
Yeah, we're gonna get better at this.
We are.
Yeah.
But it's been good. You know, it is good. So one of the things that you do on the bay as well is you constructed a marina called Belvoir Marina, and that's basically on the Severn, right?
Off the
Severn.
yeah.
It's off the Magathie. Okay.
Or no,
I think
you're
it's
right.
off the
No,
Severn.
it's a Severn. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
off a Round Bay.
Off a Round Bay.
Yeah.
So how did that start, and what are your thoughts about that marina, and what's the plan? Because I know it's a passion of yours, and it's a beautiful marina.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's small. It's only doing like 20 slips in there, but
Yep.
Built it back in 07. So it's a private community. And in fact, I got to get down there and you just got yourself a float. I got to put together a kayak float that they just bought.
Oh.
I bought a kit. So I have to put that together next week.
Oh.
So people can go kayaking. You know, it's a nice little thing where you can go down. I just bought the ladder at West Marine today. Get out on this floating dock where your kayak can slip up in the middle of it, so you can hold on to this round like stirrup kind of thing and slide yourself in there. For the people that obviously have balance issues, this is what they come up with. You know, it's like you get down on a floating dock and get in. You have your boat already stuck there in the middle of it. You get in there and you just push yourself off and you go, and or to get back or to get out of it. People that have problems with balance, I would say, because I get in kayaks all the time, and I'm not using a floating dock to do it. You just get in right off the ramp, and you just go, off you go.
Yeah, you just got to be careful with your balance.
Yeah. So
start out slow. Yeah. Start out slow.
So people that are, I think it must be for the people that are top heavy. That throws the top of center of gravity off, and you go whoop.
Is that like double D's top heavy?
Double D's would probably be top heavy, yeah.
Or those are the ones you want to see in the water.
We love double D's. As long as the rest of them is proportionate.
All right, cool. Well, that sounds like a pretty cool little project.
Yeah.
We saw a really nice marina also off this. That was the Magathy, though, that we were on in Severna Park.
Yeah.
Brady Christian, right up the street here, owns a company called Chesapeake Pier and Pile, and he is doing his own brand and his own method of floating docks on the bay. So that's a pretty big deal, and I'm excited to see more of that.
Yeah. Everybody needs floating docks.
Although it's very funny to watch someone from Maine come down here and try to tie up their boat. It's usually just a nest of loose lines, and and then they ask me to go make sure that the boat's tied up right, because they have floating docks and they have cleats. The bay has something it's against cleats, but what I've learned is that there are regulations against floating docks. So Brady has figured out a way to work with those regulations and produce floating docks. So there's a particular, language in the law that still allows for floating docks, but in the method that he builds them. And a lot of these larger floating dock companies, they build for the whole nation or the whole world, like Bellingham, Washington, and there's a couple of others that's how they build them. You take them or you don't. Whereas Brady is doing something special for the bay, which I think is really cool.
I think part of his equation was, he touched on it, was a hard dock that's set up well above the high water line, adds enough daylight that can penetrate underneath it from angles to keep the seagrass alive.
Yes,
because
seagrass is important for the bay. It helps keep
clean.
The bay clean.
But
exactly.
that was when I brought it up earlier about being in Annapolis and seeing all these boats that are at dock almost all their whole life.
Yeah.
Almost no. They spin them around once, or they take them out once or twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the water, so they're blocking all the sunlight also. That's so how is that?
Well, the boats move. They're supposed to move. So
I understand, but you see the same boat in the same exact spot every day. So there's no sunlight getting down to feed the grasses underneath that, because the boat is never gone, never moved. It'd be one thing if the boat went out every day, sunlight could reach the bottom of where that boat sits. So, it's a give and take thing where he's building something that rises and goes high and low with the tide. When the tide's up, light can go through the water and, feed the grasses underneath. Likewise with the boat going up and down. So they're both the same. In my view, is that you got a boat that's sitting there at dock most of its life, never moving.
Yeah.
going back to the first point, people that, own these really nice boats. Rod is one of them that uses his boat.
Yep.
And you need people like that, that they have the boat for a reason. Use the damn thing.
Yep. He's also teaching his son, Maureen, and Rod's son, Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
That kid can run a dinghy better than I can. He whips that little electric motor around with that dinghy, and there's people in it. It's impressive to see.
Sure. Practice.
Practice.
That's how you
And it's good to see kids here at the marina. Kids make everything better.
Yeah.
And it's a way that propagates the lineage of boating.
Yeah, of course, when Daddy falls over drunk at the wheel, the son can take over.
Let's hope. Rod's pretty safe about that stuff.
I know that. I'm not talking about Rod.
Yeah. I think he's still there. Yeah, we still got everybody. Anybody have any questions? Write in. Tell us what you think, what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah, they want more music.
Yeah, we got more music.
No, I mean, what do they want?
I know, whatever they want.
Music.
Yeah, Rod says thanks for the shout out. More kids at the marina. We need more kids at the marina, but no swimming pool.
Yeah,
no swimming pool. But we do have some new things coming to the marina. We have a nice new fire pit that's going to be built. We also have a new canoe, kayak storage,
dinghy rack. Yeah,
dinghy rack. Yeah, some really cool things happening around here at the marina, and at your marina too, at Belvoir. But
yeah, not near the foot traffic as this one gets.
Mm. Well, it's a private thing over there.
Yeah,
so I understand that. What else you want to talk about? It's got to be something.
It's like me and jokes. The topics come up, and then all of a sudden, the joke comes up. So it's.
Well, what jokes have you? You've got some really good ones that are not in the joke books.
Yeah, but some of them are too dirty to say on the air, as you know.
I don't know. I mean, how do we know? YouTube will tell us if it's too dirty. They'll say you can't do that.
Well, yeah, I know, but
it's not like showing nudity or something.
I know, but I don't want to offend anybody.
Right now, I think it's just Rod and I and us.
Thanks, Rod. You're hanging in there, buddy.
No, we have several people on. Thanks for being here, everybody. No, seriously, tell a joke. What about
seriously? Can somebody tell us where you're from? If you don't want to say your name, just say what area of the world you're from, so we can talk about that.
Because that will elicit, yeah.
It could
spark.
A joke might pop out of that.
I was actually at Rod's home base area where he's from on the Manasquan River today. And we talked a little bit about that. And I went to New Jersey to see a boat and stayed in Asbury Park, which is just a little bit north of Manasquan River. So where we normally fuel up at Hoffman's on the Manasquan, it was a little bit north of that by water, maybe, I don't know, 10 miles, something like that.
Right.
And took a little look at a boat at a Sea Ray 390 for a client in Montreal. And the boat looked very nice. It was a listing of Clark's Landings, which they also have a location here on the West River. It's just around the bend in Shady Side.
All right.
So it was a nice trip.
Good. Eat anything good? Did they feed you well?
No, but there was a great place that I went to. So I arrived at like 9:30 in the PM and was starving, and I was trying to piece together some equipment for today and a plan, and did a lot of things in the background just to make this as beautiful as it is. And so well put together. And they had at the lobby, they had a 24-hour snack stand. And there was a lady that was actually running that, and she was cooking food for people if they wanted it. And there was the other lady that was doing the registration or whatnot. And I ordered a little pizza, a little onion pizza, caramelized onions, and learned a little bit more about the area by talking to them, waiting on the pizza. And
So you were talking to all those people with onion breath?
no, the pizza was being made. I was waiting on it to be made.
So after you ate the onion
I didn't
pizza,
eat the
you
pizza.
didn't talk to
them.
anybody?
It was during the pizza making window.
I'm just messing with
Oh. Yeah. And then went up and did the work that I needed to do
you.
online.
Did you talk to people face to face?
Down in the lobby?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there was only the workers. But yeah,
So they're used to onion breath.
I didn't have any onions yet. I didn't have any onions yet. And they weren't raw. So even when I would have had them and talked to somebody, it wouldn't have been offensive.
Okay, good. That's right, because they're
Cooked.
cooked.
Yeah.
Much better.
So that was nice. And then it was a safe harbor marina on the Manasquan. So it's on the other side of that bridge. I think it's a
Okay.
swing bridge, isn't it? Right there at Hoffman's.
Yeah.
So it's up the river from that. And really beautiful property. And there was probably,
This was a private
30
residence you went to?
no, Brewer's yacht yard. It was a safe harbor yard. There were probably 30, 40 boats on the harbor. Overlooking the river.
Yeah, I bet you everybody's itching to get out. Next week, all you boaters, it's going to be nice in the middle of the week, like up to 60, 65 degrees. Get your boat out on the water.
Yep.
It's enjoy it while we can, because this is March where it goes like this, and temperature wise.
Well, and I think that's one reason that people are hesitant to get the boats out, because of that dip that's potentially possible.
Well, it's not,
But here's the great thing.
I know, but we're past the freezing zone.
I think the water is already starting to warm up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're
And
past,
even if we get a low temperature, I think
it's not going to
the
freeze the water.
insulation of the water is going to keep the
I
boat
agree.
at a constant temperature,
Yeah.
out of danger,
Yep.
out of the danger zone. But if for some reason we did get a cold front through here for a couple of days, it's easy to re-winterize a boat.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's only going to get down in the 30s now. We've gotten past the worst part, February.
Yeah. And if you get out on the bay now, like I went to St. Michael's on Saturday.
Yeah.
And
Nobody out there.
there was 3 boats.
Yeah. It's like we were out rowing.
But everything in St. Michael's is open, so you can go. It's not like you don't have anywhere to go once you get on the water.
I went for a motorcycle ride yesterday and went down, roads down in Calvert, a lot of country roads, switchbacks and nice country roads up and down, all around. Stopped for a beer and a whiskey at a dive bar down there, and they have live music on Saturday nights. I ended up standing outside, getting ready to get back on the bike, and talking to a musician that plays there regularly. And they said, yeah, I didn't know that people were doing live music, but apparently they are. It's reduced capacity, but still they're doing it.
Yeah.
So I think things are starting to get back a little bit back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
Get that shot in your arm. Did you see
J&J?
Did you see old Dolly?
Yeah.
That she did her thing. Vaccine. Vaccine.
I followed Dolly Parton closely. Yes, I did see that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, being from Tennessee, did you see all the flooding?
No, is that West Tennessee?
Tennessee, Kentucky. Yeah.
Well, that's north.
That's all that way. All that the Kentucky River all
Hmm.
flooded and it affected part of Tennessee.
Hmm.
Anyway,
I see
it's
that.
yeah. So that's is that all part of the Ohio? Did Ohio tie into Kentucky?
Yeah, right around like Cincinnati and
Yeah.
Louisville.
Yep, that's all flooded too.
Hmm.
All the ice melt, and plus all this rain that we had, just flooded out.
So that'd be up by Bowling Green, probably Kentucky, down into what's that area, Tennessee? It's like northwest.
Okay. Yeah, but it was affecting. I think. Where are you from? Knoxville,
Mhm.
Lexington.
Knoxville. So it was affecting Lexington, Kentucky. So that's due north of Knoxville.
All right. It was affecting Lexington.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm surprised weren't aware of that.
Lexington's beautiful.
You don't keep tabs on your
Not on Lexington, no.
old stomping grounds.
I don't keep tabs on Lexington.
Me neither. I just saw it on YouTube. Yeah, somebody was filming it on YouTube.
It's a great source of information.
It is, and they weren't as charming as us, but they had a good camera and they were filming the flood.
Have you seen the magnet fishing?
Yeah,
I've been addicted to that lately.
I got a magnet.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
We should magnet fish.
Sure.
You never know what treasures.
My sunglasses are right off the dock, like right down there.
I know.
Where we had Silhouette.
I have a really nice pair of sunglasses somewhere in Tombar Bay Slip at West River Yacht Harbor. We go after those.
Yeah, as long as they had enough metal in them to pick them up.
Probably don't.
Yeah, if it was plastic, it ain't gonna work.
Need a really good magnet.
A plastic magnet. I don't know if they make that yet. Yeah, I think we should probably wrap it up and come up with some new topics for the next viewing.
All right. What should we exit? Should our exit music be?
I don't know. Vangelis.
Vangelis. Who's that?
From the Blade. Put it in Blade Runner.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys like that movie. It's a great movie. And Vangelis. Good soundtrack. Is it on there?
This is the soundtrack, but I don't see Vangelis.
Well, he wrote it.
So you want to do the intro?
Yeah,
Main?
just do the intro then.
I can't wait to hear this. It'll bring back memories. It's a good movie. We can enjoy some whiskey and listen to some music. All of us together.
Cheers! You want to put it right?
All right.
Stop.
In there now.
Enhance 5719.
You have an ice factor down here?
Track 45 left.
You don't have it in?
Have your ice in there.
No, you don't have it in either.
Enhance 15 to 23.
You get the movie. The soundtrack?
And Tyler.
Your hard copy right there.
Yeah, it's a good soundtrack. We'll go to the next track.
Do you like our owl?
It's artificial.
Sean Young.
Of course it is.
Yeah, she's hot.
Must be expensive.
Very. I'm Rachel.
Very avant-garde.
Deckard.
Futuristic.
It seems you feel our work is not a benefit to the public.
Yeah, I don't think
Replicants are like any other machine. They're either a benefit or a hazard. If they're a benefit, it's not my problem.
May I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Yeah, they're just the sound. Listen to it total times.
Have you ever retired a human by mistake?
No.
But in your position, that is a risk.
Is this to be an empathy test?
I kind of like this.
Capillary dilation.
No,
It's reminding you of the movie.
Oh, definitely. What else have they got in there?
Involuntary dilation.
Well, now people can't hear you.
All right.
We call it void pump for sure.
Mr. Decker, Dr. Eldon Farrell.
Where are we at?
Track number 2.
I want to see it work. Where's the subject? I want to see it work on a person. I want to see the negative before I do it.
Good article. Excuse me.
Another good place to get that stuff is Milwaukee Irish Festival.
Oh, yeah. Well, show them what you got there.
Oh, my follower.
That's what you got to put it up there.
It's 34 to 46.
Real Irish folks.
And the only reason why all those countries attack centuries
Okay.
of the mineral wealth, gold and silver.
So they attacked Ireland for those
Not
natural
only,
resources.
yeah. And
Even
plus-
back in the marauding days of
Sure.
the Vikings.
Yeah, definitely. They wanted it too. Everybody liked gold and silver. And it's just so, it's kind of weird that they were so good at not only their forging of those metals, but the crafting, the rings and whatever else they were
They
making.
were artisans.
Yeah, they're very good artists, and so yeah. And then plus their girls were hot, and so they'd always want to rape and pillage those guys, and, So I think that I got that gene, the raping and pillaging thing.
Yeah.
I haven't doing too much raping lately.
Well, and
the
attacking.
pillaging is fun.
Yep. And attacking different towns by boat.
Yeah.
Taking no prisoner.
Just taking the good-looking girls and having your way with them. And then having them.
That's pillaging. Pillaging the town.
Pillaging, yeah.
Right.
Is taking all their silver and their gold.
Right.
I guess. And their women.
Mm-hmm.
But we should do that more often. It would liven things up.
Should.
Yeah, that there's a marauding base that's going to come and pillage your town. They're not going to hurt anybody, but it's going to pillage.
We made the last Parade of Lights more interesting because we pirated with a Curra, lit up Curra.
Yeah.
And they sent the Coast Guard after us.
Yeah. Yeah. We got chased
after two naked rowers in a canoe. That's what we were told. We were looking for those people too. That's not right.
It wasn't
I
us.
shouldn't do that. It wasn't us, but they said it was. Remember the Coast Guard showed up?
Yeah.
They were so surprised, like, you're the guys?
Yeah.
Well, we're mad at you.
You broke the rules.
What rules?
Yeah, we didn't know. We didn't see the rules.
All we did was go up Eagle Alley in a boat like everybody else with lights.
Yeah.
We didn't need to be judged. Matter of fact, we got more applause than a few of them.
We did. We put on a show.
We did.
Well, they might remember us fondly one day.
All right. Thank you, Egan.
Thank you, Bradley. It was awesome.
Happy birthday.
All right.
6 days early, but
practice 10:30 on Saturday. Hopefully you can show up and you can socially distant. Put two in a boat if we have to. Wear your mask. Drink whiskey. You'll be good.
it'll all be good.
Oyster shooters at Middleton's. We tried we rode up to I can't think of the name of the restaurant right there at the old the Navy bridge.
It's like the Inn or something. Chesapeake Inn.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah.
We
I've
rode
never
up
been
there
there.
and beached it because their dock is completely fucked, right? And nothing. They have no dock. So we beached the boats, went in there, and they sat us down, and I went up to the bartender and I said, "Do you do oyster shooters?" She goes, "I can try." And I said, "Okay. Can you make them like Middleton's?" And she said, "Okay." So we kind of described how they did it, and they were great. So we did we had two apiece. It was six of us, or no, it was five of us, two apiece, and there were only 25 cents more, $3 a piece.
Nice.
Compared to Middleton's at $2.75.
Yep.
Yeah.
They gave you more beer, you said.
They gave you more beer, but it wasn't the same. I like Middleton's. The way they do it, their oyster and their sauce was much better.
Yeah.
But what the hell, when you're, a couple miles up the creek, you're going to take what you get.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was good. So we should do that again.
Let's do it.
Yeah. It's a good destination. Just like rowing to O'Leary's is a good destination. You get there, I mean, you have to row hard to get out and around, and then, take your time getting in, pulling up, have a beer, and then row back out.
Yep.
It's good. So it's good 10, 15 minutes of hard rowing, getting around.
Yep.
In all different, whereas running up to Severn was hard going up because we were into the wind and changing tide. Tide was coming in, so it was hard coming back because the tide was coming in. Going up, we were going against the wind. So in the wind, we were doing fine. Going back, we were going against the tide, so it took us a little bit longer, even though we were with the wind. So either way, great being out on the water.
Yep.
All you boaters, get out there.
Exactly.
Whether you're pushing the throttle forward or you're pulling the oars. One or the other.
Well
Just
said.
be out there.
We'll see you out there in the water. Cheers. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks.
Till next time,
we'll try to have a better setup
Prompt.
next time. Yeah.
We'll be more prompt.
Not only that, we'll have a schedule of ideas because you guys, our fans, will give us ideas to talk about.
Exactly.
So please subscribe. Push that subscribe button. Is there a subscribe button?
There is a subscribe.
Oh,
button.
good.
Hit the subscribe button below
Yeah.
this screen.
I watch too much YouTube because everybody says hit the
If you like the video, hit the subscribe button.
video.
I don't think I did this right. End stream. Bye, everybody.
See ya.